Hello, welcome to our special coverage of the Grand Variety Show in celebration of the 20th anniversary of Macau's return to China on CGTN. I'm Julian Watkin in Beijing.
And I'm Li Chuan. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, Macau is such a magical city. It has an interesting history as a trading post, with its colonial legacy still influencing its culture, cuisine, and people's lives.
And today, Macau has undergone even more remarkable transformations since its return to China 20 years ago. And the gala tonight is no doubt will be a reflection as well as a celebration of that progress.
Right. We've got a big night tonight, so let's get started. Let's first go live to Macau. My colleague Tian Wei is leading our coverage there. Good to see you there, Tian Wei. So you've been there in Macau this whole time in the lead up to that big anniversary day tomorrow. What has been the mood there?
Well, it's absolutely festive, I have to say. Hi there, Chuan and Julian. It's great to see both of you here on this very special day. In half an hour's time, as you may know, a grand evening gala with the theme My True Chinese Heart will be staged at the Gymnasium of Macau East Asian Games, better known as the Macau East Asian Games Dome. And meanwhile, there are a lot of other festival activities going on around town. And for now, I'm also joined by our colleague, Nathan King, coming all the way from North America. So I guess you've been having fun over the past few days covering the event.
Yeah, it's impossible not to have fun in Macau. and you know, the spirit that we're all laughing about is kind of infectious. I should have worn a bow tie like Julian, because I think it's time to dress up and sort of celebrate. And we're looking forward to this gala. But we've seen so many side events already, haven't you? You can't walk down the street and avoid people all dressed up, waving their Macau flags and their Chinese flags at the same time. It's definitely a moment of celebration, isn't it?
It is a celebration, especially it's a celebration of both things. One is Christmas, which is a festive season. New Year is coming.
Yep.
And at the same time, 20th anniversary. You see Macau, I come here every 5 years.
Ah, you're lucky.
So much change going on. But at the same time, there's one thing that has not changed. That is people's enthusiasm to see this unity coming from Macau and also China's mainland. Tourists, 90% of them coming from the mainland. Nathan.
Yeah, you really notice, especially in the gaming houses,
Yes.
especially elsewhere, that this is a real magnet for Chinese mainlanders to come. Very like Las Vegas in Nevada in the US, where people from all over the country flock to have a bit of fun, not just the gaming, but also high-end restaurants, a bit of shopping, that sort of thing.
Diversity of the economy, as they say.
Yes, although it's still heavily focused on gaming, and this is what this week's going to be all about, is making that.
We'll see how the diversity of the economy will play out eventually in Macau. And certainly there's also diversity of social groups. As you may know later, we're going to see this grand gala, among which 25 social groups, local ones, coming from Macau, going to perform in that wonderful gala. Macau is only 30 square kilometers, just for our viewers from all over the world.
You can walk around.
Yes, 600,000 people, but they have more than 10,000 social groups. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a real melting pot. It really
Exactly.
is, yeah.
But anyway, we're going to bring you some of the latest leading up to the evening gala. Earlier, our reporter Wu Guoxiu has briefed us on some of the highlights of tonight's gala at the East Asian Games Dome. Let's listen in.
Well, this is the stage for the gala. We see instruments here for the troupe, and the members are from Macau and the mainland. When we talk about a gala, people usually think of what stars are coming. To be frank, that was my thought at first, so I tried to contact some pop stars for interviews for this event. But it turns out that this gala will not feature too much on them. For more on that, we were lucky to have the gala's general director, Mr. Xiao Xiangrong, to spoil for us a little bit. 肖导您好，您好，Welcome to join our show. My first question， 我想第一个问题就是说，既然我们没有很多的明星加入这场晚会，那还有哪一些亮点是您觉得就是值得向观众推荐的？
澳门是一个文化多元的一个城市，也是一个这样的一个地区，所以他们每一个人都有非常蓬勃的这种地区文化和社区文化。在今天晚上的舞台上，虽然没有常规上的那些大明星，但是实际上他们是每一个社区里边的真正的明星。我们最大的岁数79岁，最小的明星才4岁，他们都在自己的年龄层里边和在自己的这个社区文化里边，是熠熠生辉的明星。
All right, Mr. Xiao told us that Macau is a place of diversified culture. So although there are not big famous pop stars, but there are stars from the communities, and the performers today are mostly from from the local communities. The oldest performer is 79 years old, and the youngest is 4 years old, right? So they will be the stars on this stage tonight. And my second question is, will there be the song we are very familiar with, the Song of the Seven Sons? 那七子之歌会在。
对我们当然会用这首《七子之歌》，这是澳门的代表。但是我们今年会非常有新意的在《七子之歌》里边融入了一个全新的元素，就是京剧的元素。这可能是我们回归以来的第一次在《七子之歌》里边我们听到的有京剧的元素，这样呢更能显示我们中国的传统文化和澳门这种它地区文化的这种交融性。所以我想这是这次开场的一个很大的亮点。
One of the opening shows is the Song of the Seven Sons, a very touching piece of song. But there will be a little bit new elements in that. There will be some elements of the Peking opera, so that will be a highlight for that. We know that many people are thinking of the familiar, the Song of the Seven Sons, and that is a very, very touching song. So it's good to know that the song will be played again in this stage, and it could be very touching when people listen to it and think about what happened during the past 2 decades. Also at this gala, performers come from all walks of life in Macau, as many as 26 social groups. The senior-most performer, as we heard just now, is 79 years old, while the youngest is 4. Ahead of this year's Children's Day on June the 1st, President Xi Jinping wrote a letter back to students in Ho Kong Premier School, affiliated with Ho Kong Middle School in Macau. Well, today students from this school will be part of several performances here. President Xi also wrote a letter back to Macau senior citizens this October ahead of the Chongyang Festival, also known as Ancestors Day. So on today's stage, you will see everyone from Macau's elders to a young Macau pilot and Kung Fu masters and more. The performers are not just from Macau, but also from the mainland, Hong Kong, and Taiwan. They wish to demonstrate a strong sense of national reunification and patriotism. Wu Guoxiu, CGTN, Macau.
It's amazing, from 4 years old to 70 years old, all people from different walks of life will be on that stage. By the way, just a footnote, the Song of Seven Sons is a poem composed by the year 1925 by a patriotic poet called Wen Yiduo. At that time, 7 places of China were colonized by foreign powers, and he was expressing his patriotism in that poetry. And now that has been turned into a song. Today, we're looking forward to hear the new version of it. Well, as we know, the theme of the evening gala is My True Chinese Heart. Let's see how rehearsals are taking place just before the gala.
This is the gymnasium of the Macau East Asian Games. On Wednesday, a dress rehearsal was held for a gala marking the 20th anniversary of Macau's return. Artists from the mainland and Macau are performing on the same stage.
I feel very happy and honored to take part in the gala marking the 20th anniversary of Macau's return. The gala gives me, a young singer, a rare chance to cooperate with singers from the mainland.
I feel warm when I come to Macau this time, just like returning home to stay with my family. I really have the feeling. It's very harmonious to perform with Macau performers on the same stage.
Themed My True Chinese Heart, the gala, covering multiple types of programs, will feature stories of ordinary Macau people and their strong feeling for their motherland. With the help of cutting-edge multimedia technologies, more stunning, elusive backdrops will be presented. Ding Siyue, CGTN.
It seems that we have a lot to expect today. Well, what do you want to see tonight on the stage for the evening gala, Dingson?
Well, I don't have a ticket. Do you have a ticket? That's the first thing.
We have to sit here and wait.
Listen, I'm sure it's going to be fantastic, but for me, the really wonderful thing is the stage that is actually Macau itself.
Yes.
I've been wandering around the last couple of days, and I know I focus on food a little bit too much, but the food here is just incredible. We were just talking about the Portuguese custard tarts, which are so good. Pastillas de nata, I think you call them.
Oh, yes.
And it's almost like a creme brulee.
They're so unique, and you wouldn't
with
taste
pastry.
that elsewhere in the
And
world.
egg, absolutely lovely. And then I do recommend also a pork chop in a bun, absolutely delicious. And one final thing.
Okay.
The beef and pork jerky, but have the pork one from the pigs that are fed with acorns.
A feast
absolutely
for
delicious.
the stomach and a feast for the
Very
eyes
good.
when
Can't
the
wait.
evening gala begins in just about 20 minutes from now. Let me go back immediately to our colleague Julian and Qiu Yuan in Beijing. Back to you guys.
Oh God, you guys are making us hungry
Oh,
here.
yes, Nathan's got a lot of recommendations for us already, but later on we're going to talk about food, of course.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tianwei and Nathan, joining us there in Macau. Now, the Historic Center of Macau is a great example of how Europe can blend seamlessly with China.
Well, the UNESCO-listed quarters located in the heart of Macau illustrate the city's unique cultural heritage. CGTN reporter Tao Yuan treated herself to a little photo tour there. Check it out.
East and West, old and new. Few cities are quite like Macau. Its unique character makes it a dream city for photographers. As a shutterbug, I jumped at the chance. My guide, local photographer and travel writer Richie Chen. First stop, the Li Lao. The spring was once Macau's main water supply.
When the Portuguese came to Macau, this was one of their first stops. It was because of this spring. They chose to settle down near water.
Next up, Ma Temple, honoring the Chinese sea goddess Ma Zu. It's one of the oldest temples in Macau and thought to be the city's namesake.
The temple existed before the Portuguese came. Local Cantonese, Ma Go Mill. That's where the word Macau came from. So for us, it holds special meaning. It represents the history of Macau and proves Macau has always been part of China.
Finally, no trip to Macau is complete without seeing the ruins of St. Paul's.
This was built in 1594, and it's an important building which highlights Macau's colonial history. If you take a close look, every wall relief tells a story.
The background of the and a small place mix two cultures.
When you photograph a face, you photograph the soul behind it. Jean-Luc Godard. In the case of My Macau Photo Tour, every snapshot helps make sense of the history, culture, time, and tells the story of this unique city. Tao Yuan, CGTN, Macau.
So like Tao Yuan just showed us, Macau is such a unique place, has so much to offer. So why don't we start to talk about it with the science Macau? Let me now bring in our guest, Professor Teng Zimong. So now the city has such a rich cultural heritage, like our reporter just showed us. And what strikes me the most is that after Macau returned to China in 1999, then the SAR government didn't try to play it down. They didn't try to erase all the traces of Portuguese influence from Macau's history. They rather accentuated its past. They preserved all the historic places and spaces that make Macau so unique, and that's been recognized by the UNESCO in 2005.
Well, absolutely. I think this is China's most sincere effort made by the government and also its people, its cultural authorities, to cement this very great role of this so-called multiculturalism in Macau. I mean, I see Macau as a kind of a civilization, culture, and history, and most of all, Chinese nation frozen in time. This is all about Macau demonstrating to the world, playing the role of a window on China, playing, in a sense, implementing this role of multiculturalism, communication, cross-cultural communication, and transnational communication, not just through this very return, the political side of the story, but also the cultural, the culinary, let's say, right, the food, the culture, the music, and even the architecture. The architecture plays an important role as a facade, as a face of Macau.
And probably the most visible ones of multiculturalism there in the city.
Absolutely, I believe that. And we're talking about the architecture as well as all these historic UNESCO landmarks. Tourism obviously is a very important pillar in supporting the economy there in Macau, aside from the gaming industry. But it's also one that is helping to preserve as well as changing the land as well. How do we reconcile the two?
Well, history actually really repeats itself in terms of protecting the heritage. And so in a sense, history gives us a lesson. I mean, as long as you can seek a balance, I mean, we Chinese are famous for seeking the balance and seeking what we call the golden means. And in this sense, we're not for this kind of total erasure, as you have pointed out correctly. I mean, we're not for erasure, we're not for the kind of elimination. We're all for protection and peaceful coexistence. And the compromise is sought actually by seeking this very compromise in terms of building the new while preserving the old. And right now, even in the architectural community, there is a famous phrase which is known as 修旧如旧. And in this sense, Macau is preserved. Look at the St. Paul's Cathedral, right? I mean, out there in the big square. I mean, even if it is in ruins, but then once again, it is kept out there as a signature, as an icon of this great city. And so I think I need to applaud the very great efforts made by architects in China and also around the world, especially architecturalists working under UNESCO.
It's a great way to also look to the future. Well, the Sun of Macau often evokes a familiar melody. Song of Seven Suns was written in 1925 based on a century-old poem by Wen Yiduo.
That's right, and it has become a standard that helps bond people of the Chinese mainland and the people of Macau. So here's its composer Li Haiying on creating this emotional tune.
你可知Macau 不是我珍惜，我离开你太久了，母亲，但是他们灭去的是我。
妻子之歌澳门创作于1997年，是为中央电视台新闻纪录片《澳门岁月》而创作的主题歌。2年之后，在1999年12月。 澳门回归的时刻，当时全球华人可谓人心之所同，都异常的高兴。闻一多先生这首《妻子之歌》创作于1925年，他当时的心情是非常悲愤，甚至可以说是绝望的。在我1997年创作这首歌曲的时候，心情已经完全不同。当时澳门已经回归在即，祖国已经逐渐的强大起来。 那么20年之后的今天，我所听到的《妻子之歌》，充满了自豪、幸福以及快乐。在澳门回归的那一刻，我能为澳门回归做一点事情，我感觉非常欣慰，也感觉非常高兴。
What a great message there. There's also a lot of young blood taking part in this grand celebration. My colleague Tian Wei earlier visited a studio in Macau to talk to MFM, one of Macau's most popular music groups.
Right, its 3 members are Hyper Low, AJ, and Josie Ho. Now, Josie was one of the performers at the 1999 anniversary celebrations, and now, on the occasion of the 20th anniversary, the music group is also going to perform.
This is something that Macau is very proud of, the 20th anniversary.
Yes.
And you are the stars of Macau.
Thank you.
Not many, shall I say, if I could be frank.
Yes.
So how Macau will thrive, culturally speaking, also a very fascinating topic, isn't it, Josie?
Yes. I remember 20 years ago at the big show celebrating the handover to China, I was also one of the performers, but not a singer, because there was a big show with 1,000 local residents. I was one of the dancers.
What did you dance at that time?
I was like a lotus, the seed of the lotus.
And you are a flower right now.
Wow.
So I feel very honored that I can participate in both celebrations.
Yeah.
I remember a song that is about the handover to China. It's called the Song of the Seven Suns. Right?
Okay, 妻子之歌. Okay, got it.
你可知Macau不是我珍惜，我离开你太久了，母亲。When I was 10, I knew nothing about the handover. Like, what does that mean? I know nothing. But I already, I was very passionate in singing already. I dreamed about being a singer.
Yes.
But I knew that it was difficult because Macau was a small market, no previous successful example ahead, so it was only a dream. But not until I graduated from high school, I started to see more Macau singers go out of Macau.
Oh.
Yeah, then I start thinking, oh, that can be possible.
I know you are the pride of Macau because you sing in this very important song, celebrating 20th anniversary of return of Macau to China. You sing that song. What's that called? 连成一家, meaning unified as one family, right?
灵性一家，成长于相同的土壤。灵性一家，心中信念一样。灵性一家，建设美好繁华，壮丽的风光一起看。
Wow, I really like that right there.
Love it.
I just learned that the band's name in Chinese characters is also written as male, female, male, meaning tease. And they really give us a little tease of what the pop culture is like in Macau. So, Professor Chen, I want to ask you, just how vibrant is the pop culture there today?
Well, Macau is considered a hub of Asian music, and Macau stands out quite a bit in terms of its Portuguese and also Cantonese music. So it is a combination of both K-pop, C-pop, and Chinese mainland pop. And so, as far as I know, for example, there are lots of rock and roll bands traveling down to Macau and mixed with the local bands. For example, in this very local bar called 39 Atelier, I mean, this is the bar actually that featured a Malaysian Chinese woman singing and blasting out and belting out basically English songs, Chinese songs, and also Cantonese songs. So it's quite a combination.
Yeah, and the song we played earlier, the song of Seven Sons,
yes.
We've talked to the composer. It's such a beautiful song. I mean, the lyrics are actually from a poem, and that was written at a time when Macau, Hong Kong, plus 5 other territories fell under foreign occupation. And that was compared by the late poet, when you do it to sons compelled to leave their mothers. I guess that really creates this strong emotional connection to a lot of people.
Well, yes. I mean, like the composer said just a moment ago, it was a song he composed with very, very strong grief. I mean, that sentiment actually ran deep before China and before 1949 China, when the PRC was founded. It was a China actually suffering from the yoke of foreign oppression, and usually we call this Triple Mountain oppressions, and China being suffering under this very so-called imperialism, feudalism, and capitalism. And in this sense, the Macau's the song's background was pretty much kind of complex. But then the song now is now sung not because it's a song of victim. It's not about a song of China being victimized. It's no longer that kind of victimization card that China is playing. Nowadays, China is emerging as a great the second largest economy, a new nation actually being sort of experiencing nirvana.
Right, so we've talked about the sight and the sound of Macau. Let's now take a look at the flavors of Macau. Macau food is considered close to Hong Kong food, but the number of Macau restaurants seen on the Chinese mainland are far less than their Hong Kong counterparts.
Well, Macanese food is actually influenced by Chinese, Malay, Indian, and African cuisines. And our reporter Li Chung takes us on one Macau restaurant in Beijing here for the ultimate taste of Ao Men.
Lunchtime on a weekday, and every table is taken. This restaurant serves Macau dishes exclusively, and it has gained quite a fan base in its neighborhood in a busy downtown area of Beijing. Ms. Ren Shasha and her friends are frequent customers here.
We have meals here quite often. The pineapple bun is my favorite. I think this dish could be a reference to tell whether a Macau or Hong Kong restaurant is good or not. And it's quite well cooked here.
Pineapple bun, curry fish balls, Portuguese curry chicken, and pork chop bun. These typical Macau dishes are also best sellers here among Beijing customers. But the recipes might have been developed in a slightly different way. Chef Wang Liang has been working here for 8 years. He says they are always adjusting the menu and taste to meet customer demand.
People living in the north like stronger tastes than people in the south. So we have to split the difference but keep its origins as well. Meanwhile, residents in Macau love sweet desserts like egg tarts, but it's too sweet for our customers here.
To many mainland residents, Portuguese egg tarts are a landmark snack of Macau, once a Portuguese colony. Making it less sweet though, the restaurant is trying its best to give its mainland customers an original taste with an original recipe and ingredients. Finally, fresh from the oven, it took 25 minutes to bake these pretty egg tarts. Now I'll have a try. It's quite crisp and flaky, and the taste is similar to what I ate before in other places, but it's more buttery, sweet, but not too much. Decorated with typical Macau symbols, Macau Taste has been operating in the mainland for 11 years, developing from a small restaurant into a chain.
At the
beginning of the 21st century, people came to our restaurant out of curiosity about what Macau food is. But it's changed in recent years as more and more people travel to Macau. Customers do come here for food. They even give us advice on developing new dishes that they like.
That's what has changed over the past 20 years since the handover of Macau's sovereignty. From the unfamiliar to a well-blended mix. And not just in food, but in other aspects as well. Li Qiong, CGTN, Beijing.
Well, Turin, I hope she brought back some of those egg tarts for us.
Now, probably one of the best ways to get to know a city is through its food, right? And I find that's especially true about Macau. Food, or Macanese cuisine, is such a hallmark of its culture there. It's often been called the original fusion cuisine. It has a history dating back to 400 years. But when it comes to the flavor of Macau, what comes to your mind, Professor?
Well, the pork. And the beef. I'm a beef buff, basically. And so the very first thing that reminds me of this very interesting food and in Macau is minchi. I mean, that kind of an interesting buff, a sort of a combination of pork and beef, and served also with potato and egg on top. It's one of the most interesting food for me, a northerner in China, and so that's something I really remembered for quite a long time.
And you're now watching the live picture of the ruins of St. Paul there in Macau, where a gala will soon be held in the East Asian Game Dome there in the city. And this is our special coverage of that special gala, which will be starting any moment from now.
The gala tonight is one-of-a-kind show celebrating the 20th anniversary of Macau's return to China. In China, people love galas, the most famous one being the CCTV Spring Festival Gala that started in 1983. And in recent years, we've been seeing a lot more of these galas at state-level banquets, events, and celebrations.
Absolutely.
And of course, the program has always been kept a secret.
Yeah.
Just to ensure the most authentic viewing experience. We never know what's going to really happen.
So we'll be
tonight.
watching with our viewers for the first time later. Tonight is such a good chance also for everybody to celebrate what Macau has achieved in the past 2 decades, not only for Macanese, but also for the 1.4 billion Chinese people who have grown together with them. And when you look at it, this tiny city really has undergone some incredible transformation. I mean, Macau's economy has expanded significantly over the past 20 years. The city's GDP in 2018 was 7 times more than that of 2 decades earlier. Its per capita GDP stands at about $83,000 US, the highest in China, and currently ranked the 2nd globally. The city is also predicted to overtake Qatar as the region with the highest per capita GDP by 2020. And also, life expectancy in Macau has reached 84 years. I mean, that is really amazing.
It's really incredible. These are such remarkable strides for Macau over the past 20 years. And also since 2007, there's been a 15-year free compulsory education program that has been implemented across Macau, including kindergarten, primary, and secondary education. The number of higher education institutions more than doubled in the last 2 decades. And in terms of tourism, which I mentioned earlier, the number of people visiting the region has risen by more than 5 times to 35 million in 2018.
and we are looking at some of the most famous landmark tourist attractions there in Macau. Macau is also gradually emerging as a world center of tourism and leader, receiving 35.8 million visitors in 2018. That's quite a leap from fewer than 8 million in 1999. Its economic growth, of course, is inseparable from the development of its gaming industry, but it has also opened its gaming market to overseas investors in 2002 and became the only Chinese city where gambling is illegal. But 4 years later, the city has surpassed Las Vegas as the world's largest earning gaming center. Its increasingly bright tourism industry, like you mentioned, Julian, is also a hidden gem. Thanks to its unique history, it enjoys such a rich diversity of architecture as we are watching them right now, particularly older buildings that merge with Chinese and Western styles. And this unusual blend is quite a major attraction as Macau develops its tourism sector.
A large section of Macau Peninsula has been designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and 25 buildings and sites within the area have been deemed to have cultural and historic significance. There is a minority group of Macanese, people that are part Portuguese and part Chinese, that have created their own unique identity, especially evident in the blended cuisine in Macau, which is, I tell you, really tasty. The floral emblem of Macau is the lotus, Qiuyan. The lotus flower has long been cherished by Macau residents. Macau used to be called the Lotus Island, in fact, and the region's flag carries a 3-petaled lotus flower. Now, the renowned Portuguese poet Luís de Camões, or Luís de Camões, as they call it in Portuguese, was exiled in the 1500s and lived in Macau for 2 years when he composed the epic Os Lusíadas, Soul of Portugal. Macau was originally known as Oman, and it was an important trading post on the Silk Road. The Portuguese first came to the area in 1513. In 1557, Macau as a town was founded. The name Macau was used by the Portuguese, and it was derived from what locals called the area Macau, meaning a place of Ma, the goddess of sailors.
Yeah, you're now watching our special coverage of the 20th anniversary of Macau's return to China. Tonight, a special gala, a grand variety show, will be held celebrating the big day, which falls on Friday, December the 20th. And we are standing by for that grand show right now as we speak. You're watching some of the incredible aerial shots coming live from Macau. And with a population of over 650,000 and a land area of just over 30 square kilometers, Macau is one of the most densely populated places in the world, and constructing a livable city is a shared vision of the Macau SAR government and residents. So that has been a priority. I guess good for them.
Oh, absolutely. You know, Qiuyan, one of the best ways to cover the sites is to do the Macau Heritage Walk circuit. The heritage buildings, the Sao Paulo Cathedral, the fort, and the Macau Museum are all adjacent to each other and can be conveniently seen individually, even if one cannot catch the Heritage Walk timing. The first Portuguese ship anchored there in 1513, as we mentioned earlier. Portugal started trading with China in 1553, and China gave Portugal the right to settle in Macau in exchange for clearing the area of pirates, believe it or not. In 1557, Macau as a town was founded. And the Macau Grand Prix, Qiuyan, held for the first time in 1954, is the only street circuit racing event in which both cars and motorcycles can take part. So you're gonna have to go and check it out.
Right, and in an effort to diversify the economy, the Macau SAR government has been working on transforming the city into a leading tourist attraction. The government has launched a series of subsidies and supportive initiatives since 2013 to implement its policy in promoting the cultural and creative industries.
The gala is about to start any moment now. Let's head over to the Macau East Asian Games Dome, where the gala is to take place tonight. Now, the 20th anniversary gala is taking place at the Macau East Asian Dome, as we mentioned. Let's take a look.
Let's watch.
Let us give a big welcome to the President of People's Republic of China, Mr. Xi Jinping, and his wife, Madame Peng Liyuan. Distinguished Mr. President of the People's Republic of China, Mr. Xi Jinping, distinguished guests, friends, and our viewers in front of the TV, the radio, as well as our friends from China and abroad who are watching our program on your mobile phone. Good evening. We are now bringing you the light show of My True Chinese Heart, an evening gala to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Macau's return to China in the East Asian Games Stadium in Macau. I am the CCTV anchor, Ren Luyu.
I'm the anchor from Macau, Lei Yaoyuan.
I am a performer from the National Theatre of China, Fan Zhibo.
I'm the anchor from Macau, Lao Zhongji.
This year marks the 70th anniversary of PRC. In this eventful year, we are now embracing the 20th anniversary of Macau's return to China. So, in this doubled joy, we are bathing in merriment and happiness. The practices of one country, two systems with Macau features is indispensable from the support of President Xi Jinping and the central government and the cooperation of Chinese mainland. We know the motherland is our strong backing and we want to sing our love to our motherland. Now it's my honor to present you the performers for tonight's gala: Macau Orchestra, Macau Chinese Orchestra, and the Mainland Orchestra. The chorus members are from the youth from Macau and the mainland choir, and the conductor is Mr. Li Xingcao from China National Symphony Orchestra. And also for your information, the figurants tonight are from different walks of life of Macau, consisted of 26 social organizations, with the oldest one 79 years old and the youngest one only 4. So now let's give a big hand to all of them. First of all, you will enjoy the Song of the Seven Songs and Macau, China.
不去，而是在时光如梭飞奔。那个回归的小孩已长大成人，
记得懂事以来，谁把故乡问，都会自豪地说，家家中国澳门。
多少陈旧的岁月已成为过往，教会我珍惜得来不易的安稳。疼爱我的母亲，给了我自由身，这颗心终于知晓何为同根生。小小的澳门有大大的梦，夺得亲爱的祖国遮雨挡风。林林洋满的清晨，那三马下了晚灯，照亮幸福脸庞，笑落很久的歌声。美丽的澳门有远方的梦，让你我在这动人传奇里相逢。英国统一江水，走过日夜兼程，就见白莲花如丽，绽放精彩缤纷。
Thank you.
回歸祖國20年
20 years after returning to the motherland with astonishing changes, Macau has made remarkable achievement. I have never been more proud and happier than I am today as a Macau
Indeed.
resident.
We are proud of where our Macau compatriots take pride in, and we are happy for the happiness felt by them. Next, let's listen to their story of the time.
"在澳门有很多为了理想而追梦的奋斗者。首先为大家介绍的这位追梦人，他是谁呢？
大家好，我是澳门航空的机长林家全。
Before its return to China, Macau's commercial airline pilots were all of foreign origin. Alain Ka-Cheng, a Chinese flight attendant, had a dream. He quit his job and at his own expense went to study abroad. His dedication was rewarded in 2008 when he became one of the Macau's first Chinese commercial airline captains.
那么我应该坐在驾驶舱里面。结果在回归后的第2年，就是2000年，我跟另外3名空乘决定放弃工作，自费学习飞行。
嘉全，冒昧的问一下，您当时的月薪大概有多少？
大概12000多吧。
哦，这个在当时年轻人的收入当中算是很高的了。那学费大概需要多少呢？
省吃俭用的话，大概100万左右。
所以放弃了当时的高
So
薪
the
还要
tuition
筹
is
付
about
100
1
万左右的
million.
学费，真的需要很大的
So
决心
you're
跟
giving
勇
up
气。
a
那
high
你觉
salary
得这样
job
做值得
and
吗？
deciding to study abroad. Do you think it's worth it? Yes.
实现不了，会后悔
What
吗？
happened if we fail?
想过，但是
We'll
我的答案
regret.
是
I thought
不
about
后
it,
悔。
but I will never
为了
regret.
实现心中的梦想，
I would like to
我放
realize
弃
my
了所有
dream.
的假期，
I gave up all my
一天当做2
vacation,
天用，通过了12
spent
门
one
专
day
业
as
科
2
目的考
days,
试，
and passed
超
the
额
test for
完成了
12
250个
subjects
小时的飞行训练。
and
用了
completed
1年0.2个月的
250
时
hours
间
of training.
去完成了航校规定的3
I
年
spent
课
1
程。
year to finish 3-year
获得了
courses.
飞行执照。
Finally,
在2003年，
I
我们44
obtained the
人
license
同时
to
被
become
澳
a
门
flight
航空录取
attendant,
成为了第一批
and
的
I
澳门
become
飞
the
行员。
first Chinese commercial
祝贺你，
airline
林机长。
captain.
作为成
Congratulations.
功的追梦人，飞越了不平凡的青春后，有什
You
么
have
样心得
extraordinary
与我们
youth.
大家分享一下？
Please share
我就是
with
要
your
证明
thoughts.
中
I
国
just
人
want to
一
prove
定行。
Chinese
澳门人
people
一定
will be
能。
successful. Macau people will be successful.
那接下来，嘉全，你还有什么样的愿望呢？
Do you have more
想早一天
wishes?
开着国产的大飞机。
I want to drive the
对，开着
C191.
C919 从澳门出发，飞
So I
遍
will
祖
depart
国
from
和世
Macau
界，
and
为
travel
澳
all
门
over
争光，
China and
为
around
祖
the
国
world.
添彩。其实，好像我一样的追梦人，在澳门
There are many
还有很
people
多。
pursuing
接
dreams
下来，
just
我
like
为大
me.
家介绍澳门的
And
青年
now I
画
would
家
like to
霍凯
introduce
胜。
another gentleman,
我是
Fort
霍凯
Hoi
胜。
Xiang.
凯胜你好。
你好，现在大屏幕上出现的一幅幅地图画，曾登上插画界最高奖牌——博洛尼亚插画大展，作者就是霍凯胜。
Fort Hoi Xiang has many illustrations, and also he won the prestigious Magnolia Illustrator Exhibition.
把澳门的发展变化
I
记录
want
下
to
来
use。this way and
那到现
depict the
在为止，
culture
一
and the
共
recent
画了多
history
少
of
张澳
Macau.
门地图画了？
How many
没有算
illustrations
过
have you painted? I never
应该超过
counted.
1000多张吧，
I
超过
think it
1000
must
张了。
over
真是了不
1,000
起！听
pictures
说
and
你的视力因
illustrations.
为画画下降了，那能告诉我们为什么这么执着吗？
I think
因
you
为
have
这是
a
我的
little
梦
bit，
澳
in
门是我的家。
disappear of your
凯胜，说
visions.
得好，
Why do you want to
澳
do
门
that?
是我们
Because
共同的家。
Macau is my hometown.
报告机长，舱门已经关闭，客舱内安全检查已完成。
谢谢。大家好，欢迎乘坐澳门航空，我是机长林家
Welcome
全。
to Macau
本次航班
Commercial
的目的
Airline.
地
I'm the
首
captain.
都北京，
The
你们准
destination
备好了吗
is？Beijing. Are you all ready?
明天是澳门回归祖国
Tomorrow
20周年的
marks the
大喜日
20th
子，
anniversary of
在这
Macau's
个充满
return
喜
to the
悦和
motherland.
祝福的时
On
刻，
this joyous
请
day,
带上我们每个人的梦想，
please
跟
take
祖
our
国
dreams.
一起腾飞。
上海、重庆、天津、青岛、北京。
谢谢。
Thank you.
中华传统文化
China
源远流
has
长，是澳
long-standing
门多元
tradition
文
and
化当
culture,
中的
which is
主
a
流
mainstream
文化。
of the
由
diversification
羅
in
良體
Macau.
育總會、澳門獅
So
子功夫
coming
文
next,
化協會嘅
let's
青少
enjoy
年
the
共
Kung
同
Fu
表演嘅
Poetry,
功夫詩畫
Wing the
豪多
Cross, the
雄
whole
風，以
conch
自
that is
強不息
performed by the
薪火
Lowland
相傳嘅
Sports
家國情懷，
General
展示
Associations
中華
and
武
Macau
術
Poetry
同
Kung
埋
Fu
詩詞
Culture
嘅澳門嘅
Association
傳人。
with the
其
theme
中
Perseverance
今年
and
7月50
Patriotism.
澳門城市
And
太
also
极
we
拳
have
健身會的
a
創始人
75-year-old
先生
Li
和澳門
Menhing,
正發這
the
個
founder
公
of the
務員
Chen Style
韓
Tai
志
Chi
小姐的
Fitness
表
Club,
演更加
and
是
Miss
熠
Han
熠生
Jing
輝
from the
請
Policy
欣
and
賞
Bureau
好
Department
將
of
雄
Macau.
風
So let's enjoy the excellent performance.
中国武术中。
In Chinese martial arts, the Southern style boxing, Wing Chun, enjoys its popularity here in Macau. Now you're watching the wooden lamppost performance, which is a training exercise of Wing Chun. It is a combination of techniques, footwork, and kicks. With this exercise of the wooden lampposts, you could not only build your body but also greatly improve the practitioner's actual combat consciousness and skills. In November 2019, Wing Chun was listed into National Level Intangible Cultural Heritage. Once the youngsters are strong, the nation will grow stronger. And when the young people are enriched, the country will be enriched.
美哉我少年中国，与天不老；壮哉我中国少年，与国无疆。
回归祖国20年来
20 years upon its return to China, the biggest change in Macau is people's morale. Before the return, Macau had high rocketing crime rate, but after the return, Macau has safer social environment and bigger space of development. Now the Macau locals live and work in peace and contentment, and they have a stronger sense of belonging to the motherland.
接下来由豪江舞蹈团
Next,
豪江
let's
英字舞
enjoy
团
the show
澳门街
New
舞
Look
会
Macau
澳门街舞
performed
文化
by
协会
Hong Kong
新
Dance
自然
Group,
澳门
Macau
葡萄牙
Street
土
Dance
风舞协会
Association,
等
Macau
社会团
Street
体
Dance
带来
Culture
的澳
Association,
门风情
Heart
以及
in
感受
Macau
多元
Portuguese
的
Folk
澳
Dance
门文化
Association. Let's experience diversified culture and unique charm in Macau.
您好，请问是童小姐吗？
我是，你是华仔？
对，你好。
你好。
我就是你
Hello
网上预约的金牌导游。今天
So
美丽
you're
的
the
澳门
tourist
就
guide for
属于
me?
你了。知道为什么吗？因为
Do you
有
know why?
我华仔。
那我们
Because
出发。
这边请。
I'm ready for the tour. Let's go.
哎，你看起来很面熟啊，很
You
像
look
对面
familiar.
电影海报上的那个
You're
演员
like
呢。
the superstar on the poster. Have you ever seen the movie?
看电影啦。
I have no
这几天来的客
time.
人特别多
Because I have
我
so
忙不过来的
many visitors here, I'm
很少有你
busy.
这种第一次来澳门就要去路环的呀
I。don't think there are many
我想
people
去那
coming
边的
here.
渔村看看。
渔村
I want to
跟我
go to
来
the fishing village. Let's go. So here is the way to go. My grandpa
那
grew
你
up
爷爷也
here.
是渔民吗？
So your grandpa is also a fisherman? He's a captain. He always said, because in this area you can see the authentic Macau. This way. We have arrived.
这里真的好美啊！
This is so beautiful. This way, please.
终于赶上了。
Finally.
这古老的渔家风情
This is
才是我
exactly
要找
what
的
I want
澳
for
门
Macau.
味道。英硕，佟丽亚，这是我们的导游
I
华
want to
仔，
introduce
这是
you.
我的同事英
So
硕。
he is
你好，
my
华仔。
tour guide. This is my friend In Shuo.
你们看，
Hello
这是我
there.
爷爷最拿手的哇生蚝啊！
So this is the oyster from the fishing land.
华仔，
哎，
他们在干什么？
What are they doing?
在摸鱼。
They're catching the fish. There are so many fish here.
来，我们一起帮忙吧。
来，
We would like to help out.
哇，好香啊！
是什么味道啊？
It smells
这
so
是我小
good.
时候的味道，澳
It is
门
actually
特
a
产
taste
咸
from my
鱼。
childhood.
我们澳门人
It
常
is the
说
salty fish
食得
from
好
Macau.
逮得好就是它了。
你刚
This
刚
is
说的
what
这
we
句话
always
什么
talk
意思啊
about.？
适得咸鱼抵得渴，意思就是说我
What
们
does
要
that
有一
mean?
颗坚定的心，做一个有担当的
This means that
澳
we
门
have
人。
to be firm and be a Macau residents that bear the sense of responsibilities.
哎，你们听，是澳门的男音呢。这一位潘玉霞
Here
老
is
师是一
Nan
名制衣师傅，他唱的平喉可好
So
听了。
我知道
Miss Pan
这是
can
澳
sing
门
a
音乐
good
的
song.
活化石。
Yeah, actually she is the living fossil in the music sector of Macau.
花前，我哋同數根。 你是要還手，好似力紅唇飛美言，就向先頭的是上我飄降於逐客情頭
好棒哦！
他可是真正的
This
舞
is
蹈
so
家，
good.
你知道
Actually,
吗？
she is a
08年
real
奥运会上
dancer,
的飞天
and
可是
also
英硕
she
跳的呢。
attended the 2008 Beijing
澳
Olympics.
门的葡式土风舞来了。
那我们一起来
Here
吧。
is the local dance in Macau.
This
is the authentic Cantonese
和
opera.
澳门民票联演的
Also,
花好月圆。
we have some experts that are coming from mainland and Macau to perform this show, The Blooming Flowers and the Full Moon.
有德有才任優儉，我望見濃明似情知，君優笑我手粗枝，口手畫刀片望兒識師傅。低價看魚，我查力比莫能先。正是我言師好良伴情勤和愛，呢隻餐風熟説我太善。华仔，要不要给我们秀一段啊？
来呀、
Show us some move.
哎，这不是澳门街舞文化协会？澳
So
门
this
街
is
舞
the
会，
Street Dance Association of
还有澳门
Macau.
舞者工作室吗？
It is also see some dancers from the studios of Macau.
哎，他们啊， 可是澳门最厉害的青年社团啊！
They're the best youth community groups in Macau.
一起来吧！来，3、2、1，走！澳门好玩吧？
很好玩。
那你们最喜欢
Do you have fun here?
我喜欢澳门
What's
的
your favorite thing in
美食
Macau? I love
我喜
food
欢购
here,
物
shopping,
国节
light
大
festival,
赛车
racing,
还有澳门艺
and
术
also the
节
art
喜
festival.
欢澳门的一切。
And also, I love everything in Macau.
继续吧！
So let's continue our tour. So I will serve you as the tour guide in Macau. Thank you. We felt the strong flavor of Macau. Under one country, two systems, Macau has its unique advantages and integrates itself into international strategies, whether it's Greater Bay Area or BRI initiative. Macau compatriots are participants, contributors, and beneficiaries. Facts speak for itself that the development of Macau is related with mainland China, and we complement each other. The golden lotus flower blooms next to the ocean. Now, Macau is building itself into a tourist and recreational center, a service platform for trade cooperation between China and Portuguese-speaking countries, and a cultural base where the Chinese culture is the mainstream and multiple cultures coexist. Next, Macau A Cappella Choir Association and Water Singers and Sports Dance Association will bring you a song and dance number.
桥飞加彩虹，弯曲到臂膀，那弯曲之美啊，美在同心相望。牵手碧波江，潮起千重浪。闻香引尽在咫尺，风吹送彼此花香，看万家灯火璀璨，融入你我光亮。那弯曲之美啊，美在绚丽东方。繁阳，共未来，同穿越航，乘风千
Musician Xian Xinhai was born in Macau. In the darkest hour of China, he wrote the immortal classic, Yellow River Cantata, which enshrines the great spirit of the Chinese nation, and it has been sung for 80 years' time. Although Xian Xinhai didn't live to see the new outlook of China with a pure heart, he created another song called Tribute to New China. His patriotism is deeply rooted on this piece of land, and it only grows along with every gust of ocean wind and every tide. Before this year's Children's Day, President Xi Jinping took his time to write a letter to the kids from Premier School affiliated to Hong Kong Middle School. And right before the Double Ninth Festival, he wrote another letter to the elderly people in the Macau communities. The two letters aroused a strong response among Macau locals. Today, with us, we have invited two special guests. One is the 75-year-old He Ronghuan. The other is the 12-year-old kid Zheng Yuhan. Those two are coincidentally alumni of Haojiang Middle School, but with an age difference of 63 years. They share similar feelings, although. Now let's listen to their hearts.
Dear President, today, once again, we sing the song Tribute to New China. We're very excited today because most of us are at the same age with New China. We witness the rising of our nation, change of our country. We experience the successful practice of one country, two systems in Macau. We are Chinese. We are proud about our identity. Dear Grandpa Xi, I am one of those students who wrote to you from the Hong Kong Middle School. Today, with all my other peers, we would also want to tell you we are the newborn Macau residents since Macau's return to the motherland. Since we were born, we saw the national flag on October 1st, 1949, on the day of the establishment of the new China. Our principal leads all the faculties to raise the first national flag. Flag raising ceremony is one of our traditions, and every Monday we hold this ceremony, and it lasts for 70 years. This year marks the 70th years anniversary of the founding of People's Republic of China, and this year also marks the 20th anniversary for Macau's return to the motherland. For our elderly people, this is an extraordinary year. On the Double Ninth Day, the Chongyang Festival, you replied to us, which encourage all the 88,000 Macau elderly. To our children, it is also an unforgettable year On Children's Day, we got a reply. We're so glad you did this for 74,000 children in Macau. Dear President, we will follow your words. We will tell more stories to the younger generation before and after Macau's return to China. We would like to encourage them to inherit the spirit of loving for the country, loving for Macau, and take active participation for the building of Greater Bay Area and join hands to bring a better future for Macau. Dear Grandpa Xi, we remember your words. We will inherit the fine tradition to love the country, love Macau, cherish our time, study hard, and grow up healthily. After we grow up, we will make contribution to build Macau, to revitalize China. Thank you, Mr. President. Grandpa Xi, we all love you. Thank you, Madam He, and thank you, Yu Han. Thank you, the elderly Vietnamese choir from Macau Polytechnic Institute, and thank you, Haojiang Middle School affiliated school, and Macau Youth Choir. Thank you all for the warmth and gratefulness you brought to us. Thank you for your gratefulness and your love to the motherland. The high tides between both banks are extravagant, about sails along with the wind. With gratefulness, we embark on a new journey. Next, let's enjoy a new performance brought by Macau and the Chinese mainland singers called Sailing to the Future. The violin and piano, Liao Guomi and Xu Enle.
在海天之间，人脚下涛涌浪飞旋，为梦想启程，高扬起风帆，我们同船渡波浪向前。
激流勇进，在潮头之巅，开新天无惧前冲线。心绪这个旅途美丽又遥远，我们共开创风光无限。
扬帆未来，我们携手向前，迎接新日出，未来就在眼前。扬帆未来，我们携手向前，迎接新日出，未来就在眼前。风顺是彼此心愿，愿时光停留着瞬间，让远远的月亮托起我祝福，友谊的海洋宽无边。
心心相印，像幸福彼岸。愿阳光铺满那海面，见远远的月亮托起我祝福，和平的航线永无终点。扬帆未来，我们携手向前，迎接新日出，未来就在眼前。扬帆未来，我们携手向前，迎接新日出，未来就在眼前。迎接新日出，未来就在眼前。扬帆未来，我们携手向前，迎接新日出，迎接新日出，未来就在眼前。
I hope you could all feel that Hong Kong spirit of sailing to the future. Only when we have one true Chinese heart, like the united lotus petals, can we gather forces and build our dream together for the future of Macau. Next, let's invite the singers from Hong Kong, Macau, Taiwan, and the Chinese mainland to sing a special song created for the event called The Lotus Unites. Let's also welcome the elderly people from the Macau Association of the Deaf.
小小一朵莲花，生长在家乡的池畔，
开出了坚厚的
花瓣，经历多少变换，变换成了它的营养，
用汗水灌溉成就它绽放。带着美好期盼，向晴空仰望，伴着走在回家道路上。因谁呀嘎，成长于相同的土壤。
因谁呀嘎，心中信念一样。
因谁呀嘎，建设美好繁华，壮丽的风光一起看。
小小一朵莲花，背靠着伟大的胸膛，
浮沉顺你分享分担，
住在同一个家，牵着彼此并肩开创，
互相守望，朝着同一方向。不一样的力量，一样的理想，相约奔跑未来道路上。因谁呀嘎，成长于相同的土壤。
因谁呀嘎，心中信念一样。
因谁呀嘎，建设美好繁华，双臂的风光一起看。因谁呀嘎，成长于相同的土壤。因谁呀嘎，心中信念一样。因谁呀嘎，建设美好繁华，壮丽的风光一起看。因谁呀嘎，成长于相同的土壤。因谁呀嘎，心中信念一样。因谁呀嘎，建设美好繁华，壮丽的风光一起看。因谁呀嘎，因谁呀嘎呀嘎。
The everlasting love of Hong Kong and the sincere Chinese heart. Years spent together are behind us, and the beautiful future is for us to create. Let's start anew and ride the winged waves. The road of Renaissance is at our foot. Next, please enjoy the song Riding the Winged Waves.
曾长路跋涉，怎知道道路曲折？
如果不是跨越江海，哪知道前途壮阔？
沧海横流，这是中国，就这样坚定沉着。
海纳百川，这是中国，就这样雄浑气魄。
世界长河，千万朵浪花汇成的歌。
一个声音响亮地说，
召唤着担当承诺。
再出发，大海依然汹涌澎湃，
沧桑巨变5000年。中国永远在这片。乘风再出发，大海依然汹涌澎湃，沧桑巨变5000年。中国永远在这片。自豪吧，人民中国，奋斗吧，中国人民，
The Hong Kong spirit and the Chinese heart. 20 years of successful practice testifies that the one country, two systems is feasible, doable, and well received. We are convinced that Macau will have a beautiful future.
My true Chinese heart, Macau will stay committed to one country, make good use of the benefits of the two systems, continue to march forward, and make greater contributions to the nation and Macau.
We wish our motherland ever grow in peace and prosperity. We hope Macau will thrive in stability and create renewed glories. Dear friends, let's commit to one country, two systems, and the high degree of autonomy. Let's unite as one and love China, love Macau, and contribute to the prosperity of Macau and the rejuvenation of the Chinese nation. Now, please all rise up, and let's give
the warmest welcome again to the President of People's Republic of China, Mr. Xi Jinping, to come back on the stage, and also invite the Chief Executive of Macau SAR, Chui Se-on, and Chief Executive-elect Ho Ya-sang to sing along with us, Ode to the Motherland. Dear guests and dear friends, My True Chinese Heart, this evening gala to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Macau's return to China comes to an end. Have a good evening.
Wow, what a show tonight. I really love the fact that President Xi Jinping got up on that stage to sort of sing with everyone at the end. I really especially adored the opera medley because it's everything that I imagine Macau to be, which is a combination of the well-preserved, the modern, as well as all the elements from around the region. For instance, you can find the modern dance and the musical, which we saw in the gala tonight, and there's also the remnants of the Nanyin, which is hailed as one of the oldest living fossils of ancient Chinese music with a history of over 2,000 years old. And contrasting with the tune and the gentle sounds of Nanyin, you have the Cantonese opera, which is extremely acrobatic and lots of gymnastics and martial arts, not to mention it has the most elaborate makeup of all Chinese operas. So Professor Teng, I want to ask you, what was your impression of this and also of the show tonight?
Well, this is spectacular, and let me say, this is a visual feast of all the Chinese cultures actually being embedded in this very gala night. You have, for example, you have said it includes speaking opera, Cantonese opera, and martial arts, and also the great costumes that we have seen across the stage. And also, most importantly, I think the very modernization of this very larger city, and also the people, and also the degree to which the people are involved in celebrating this great event in their lives. I mean, I'm so very much impressed by the old ladies. I mean, as you said, in costumes, right, in qipao and walking on the stage. I mean, having so much fun out there. I mean, I see the euphoria, not just on the people who are in the big kind of the top structure of the society, but the people in the community.
And we've got a little Portuguese-style folk dance as well, and this is what I love about the show. It really tells how multicultural the city has become. So we've seen lion dance, we've seen kung fu, Portuguese folk dance, Nanyin opera, Cantonese opera, vastly different culture coming together, blending together, and really becoming what Macau is today.
Well, yes, absolutely. I mean, this is a typical, basically is the epitome of this blending and exchange and communication among two different civilizations. I think Macau can be singled out at the very last reminders of this very example of civilizations blending, communicating, and eventually cooperating for common development.
And we also saw the song Sailing into the Future being performed here again. Actually, back in 2017, we saw the song performed by Tan Weiwei at the BRICS Summit in Xiamen, and this time it was performed by a pop singer from Macau. His name is Sean Pan, and we also saw other singers from the mainland as well. So, Professor Teng, I want to ask you, how well does this gala represent the Alman or the Macau that we see today?
Well, once again, like I said, I mean, it represents the consolidated solidarity. I mean, it's this national and collective celebration of this very solidarity, this euphoria at the very progress that we have made, headways that we have made in terms of mainland China, Macau as one family, as one point. I mean, they were singing that they were all from one family. The pilot, for example, right? The great pilot actually think about this very notion of China, Macau, and also, I mean, piloting the great airplane that he's dreaming of, the C919, right?
Yeah, and the theme song, The Lotus Unites, that a song especially made for this occasion. What do you think the message is there?
Well, the message is interesting. I mean, the lotus has been always kind of associated with Chinese culture, traditional Chinese culture. Lotus is always seen as a beauty, a natural beauty out there in the pond. I mean, in broad daylight, out there at the night. I mean, radiating this very excellent qualities, for example, being merciful, being kind, and being generous, and being beautiful. I mean, basically, it is the icon, is the symbol for China to be integrated among all nations and civilizations.
It's also, the lotus is also the flora emblem of Macau. And if you think about it, think about Macau as the lotus and the rest of China as the pond, there is something to be said about Macau standing out, but also very much rooted within China.
Yeah, I mean, this is the culture. This is the culture actually that stands out with a successful kind of a blending from, or picking from each and every one of the regions from China. I mean, think about people in Macau. They are basically the people of the world, right? I mean, they have people from the north, people from the west, and eventually people from Europe. And at one point, we were laughing at this very explicit expression. I mean, we enjoy that very expression. The open expression of this very love, this affection for the seniors, right, for the elderly in the community. I mean, this is so very interestingly, I mean, new Chinese way of expressing ourselves.
And we've seen President Xi Jinping standing on the same stage with the current chief executive of Macau SAR government, Cui Shi-an, and also the incoming chief executive, He Yicheng. Quite a historic moment there. And this show is really just a prelude of what's to come tomorrow. Tomorrow is the big day, the anniversary. What do you think the future lies for Macau?
Well, Macau is once again very, very success story to tell in terms of one country, two systems. I mean, this is actually not a trial. It is not supposed to be a city that goes through trial and error. This is a city that really follows strictly that very principle, the national policy, and succeeds based on this very policy to benefit the populace, to benefit the whole population, and to continue this very integration with the motherland. And I mean, like the song of Seven Sons sang about. I mean, they were separated. I mean, they just came back for 20 years, but the successful blending and coming home actually, to me, was a very successful rite of passage.
Yeah.
This is
and
city.
Macau is also seems to be a region that doesn't see boundaries. There was the martial arts show in the gala tonight, and martial arts, the Wing Chun school, I thought it was very popular in Hong Kong, but apparently it's also in Macau as well.
Well, the Yung Chun is basically rooted in this very sudden genre of martial arts, and particularly associated with women fighting. I mean, so you don't see the kind of kicking and kind of using arms to fight. It's all about this kind of almost lots of body contact and also fist contact. And so it's designed for women for self-protection back in ancient past. But men, for example, I mean, Zhen Zidan in the film, for example, I mean, which is now running in movie theaters, it's all about men imitating and men kind of blending different genres from the north, from the south. But yes, like you said, I mean, this is kind of a popular martial arts form in the south.
And reconciling the in and the yang as well. Thank you very much, Professor Tong.
Good point.
Tonight, the gala is a celebration of homecoming, but also a celebration of the rejuvenation and renewal of this ancient land as we march into the future, sail into the future. And that's it for our special coverage today. Well, I hope you enjoyed it.
And please stay tuned for more news coming on CGTN. I certainly enjoyed the night. Hope you all enjoy watching the show.
I'm Julian Wacken in Beijing.
I'm Li Qiuyuan. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.